7 o'clock. Time for Toy Tuesday. We've got some more awesome memorabilia for you tonight. So, since we are live, we've got a couple people on with us already. We'll give everybody else a few seconds to get their notifications and get jumped on with us, and we'll get rolling here real shortly. All right. If you notice from the title, we were talking about grills tonight. Obviously, I like grills. If you haven't been on here before, we've got a lot of grills because grills are just so great. They really were they were the telltale sign of the car back in the day. They were stylish, they were important, and the car was a lot of times designed around it. So we're gonna flip the camera around. We're gonna head over to some of the grills that I've got here. Some of you guys have probably seen some of these before. Before we get into the new biggie, it's kind of actually the big kahuna of my grill collection that we're going to look at here in a little bit. But here's a small sampling of it. This is just a portion of what I've got around. And what I love about these things, I mean, you look at them, the badges. Obviously, we look at a lot of badges. Rio, there's a 34 Ford car grill. That's a cool one there, like about a 29 or 30 Cadillac. Robert's on with us. Glad you made it, Robert. Glad to know comments are working. There's a really cool one for a big old Federal truck. What's this? Oh, this is an awesome one, too. The REO Speedwagon Standard. So that's a great badge and a great grill off of a big old truck. So like I said, we've looked at some of these in the past. More cool ones. Oldsmobile. Willys Knight. Packard, Maxwell, Auburn. So obviously, grills are just such an iconic piece. They're beautiful decorator pieces. I've got some buddies that have a bar and grill here in town in Great Bend called Bookies, and they come and snagged about 6 or 8 of my grills, and they're all hanging above and around their bar or the back of their bar at their bar and grill. So obviously love these things. They're iconic. They were the signature of the car, and they make great decorator pieces today. So, what's so exciting that I'm excited about a grill, and I'm calling this grill an epic piece of my grill collection. Obviously, we've seen a lot of grills. Promo Camaros, Adam, I'll get some of maybe I can get some of those out for next week. We've done some promos in the past, but we can sure get some promos worked in here. Chris is on with us. Glad you made it. So obviously, you guys have seen a lot of my grills. We just looked at a lot of grills. Well, the grill we're going to get ready to look at, to me, is literally, like I said, epic. It's the only way I can put it. This car was so well known because of its design, because of its nose, because of its character. Jerry's with us, so glad you made it. That I was just beyond stoked to actually get my hands on one of these. Plus, the simple fact that there were less than, that's a crop of grills. I guess that's one way to put it, Dan. It's a crop of grills. This grill that we're going to look at, less than 3,000 of these cars were ever produced, like 2,680, something like that. Less than 3,000 examples of this car were ever produced in a 2-year run. So there's not a lot of these out there anyway. Ironhead's on with us. Glad you made it, Ironhead. Robert. Robert says he's 60 years old and always wanted some grills, including a Terraplane. Are you going to? We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it. Trust me. Don't worry, William. But the Terraplane grill you just brought up, I had a great Terraplane grill. My buddy stole it for their bar. So I had a really cool Terraplane grill with the headlights on it. It's sitting next to my buddy's bar with the lights on. But anyway. Here we go. We're going to show you this new thing to you. I'm so excited about it. I hope you guys like it. And let me know what you think. And then I'm going to ask you for your opinion, too, here in just a few minutes. So we'll flip it around, and here we go. There it is. It's the entire nose, the hood, and the grill assembly for a 3637 coffin nose cord for an 810 or an 812. Like I said, less than 3,000 36, 37 cords were ever built. So obviously, hanging out down at the Auburn Cord-Duesenberg factory with our good friend Doug Prey, I managed to buy this from him. The Nirvana of grills, to me it is. I mean, some people probably don't think so. But the 36, 37 cord, 810, 812, is arguably one of the most beautiful cars ever produced. If you look at some studies or some surveys, there's a lot of surveys that will call this one of the most beautiful cars ever produced. This was one of its signatures, was this big long hood with a grill that wrapped all the way around it, and including the top louver here is actually part of the hood to finish out the grill. So there it is. Like I said, I don't know if you guys like it or not. I sure do. I'm beyond stoked about it. Obviously, we've gathered up a lot of grills over the years, but to come up with something like this that is this iconic, we're buffering badly on YouTube, so we may have some feed issues there. We do have some storms rolling in here tonight. I can hear the thunder in the background. It's not quite as rare as hen's teeth, but there's not a lot of them around. When less than 3,000 cars were produced total, to actually have this hood and this grill in my collection to hang up with the rest of my grills, yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Ironhead Garage likes it. Glad you guys dig it. So to me, it's something super cool. 61 Olds front bumper and grill. I don't have any 61 Oldsmobile full size right now, so nothing on that at all. So, yeah, like I said, William says, to me, it was a score. Like I said, I'm super excited that Doug sold it to me. He had a couple of extras in stock, but obviously when you're talking about a car that less than 3,000 were ever produced in a 2-year run, it is well known as one of the most iconic cars ever designed and built. No problem, James. Glad you asked. You don't know until you ask about the Olds parts. So to me, this is it's pretty cool. It was epic to bring it back. We want to hang it in the shop. I don't know where. I've got, a little bit of room up there in a few spots. We might be able to get it, but that's it. So, yeah, nice cat. There's cats all over in here. They kind of run rampant and take over the place sometimes. But, this thing is not the best. It's not a premier piece. It's got a little bit of rust here in the sides. But, there again, I want it for a display piece. And for what I want it for, it's perfect. The next question is, do we paint it or not? It's got a great weathered look to it. But my daughter and I were discussing, should we paint this thing before we hang it up? So that's kind of our next conundrum, so to speak. It's not in terrible shape by any means, some dings and dents and, minimal rust. But, that's what we're trying to decide, whether or not we're going to paint that thing before it goes up. But it's a pretty iconic piece. There is nothing else like it. I mean, obviously the Skylark and the Hollywood, I think the Graham Hollywood and the Hupmobile Skylark did use some similar stuff because they use the same dies. But this is actual cord stuff, 36, 37 cord. And obviously pretty excited to add that to the collection. Adam says just leave it the way it is and hang it up. So, we got these badges we showed you the other day. These are both original cord badges. This would have been a little earlier cord. This badge here would have been off of a 36, 37, 810. Now, one thing you guys, I don't know if you guys know or not, the 36, 37 cord was front wheel drive. Ironhead says leave it as well. 36, 37 cords, these were front wheel drive cars. Where this hood sat, right in front of this was a cover. That just a sheet metal cover. The fenders came down. The fenders would come down the side over here, and there was a big sheet metal cover that went across here. That actually covered the transmission. Old School's on. Glad you're here. This is the badge that was on that transmission cover that would have sat right about here in front of this grill and hood assembly. So that's it. I hope you guys like it. I'm obviously pretty stoked about it. I don't know if you guys are all quite as excited about it, but Ironhead is. He likes it too. So, but it's definitely different. It is definitely something you're not probably going to stumble onto at the next swap meet. So I was definitely excited to add that to the collection. The worst part about it, it is big and it is bulky. So we got to figure out what in the heck to do with it as far as trying to get it hung. Dan likes the cords too. He says leave it just the way it is. And regardless, no matter what we do with it, it's an iconic piece. Robert says restore it. And that's kind of what I'm wondering. I don't know what the best plan of attack is. But it's just like I said, it's iconic, it's epic. To me, it's awesome. Robert says he's a body man, so probably be a piece of cake for you. But like I said, overall, most of the fins are pretty straight on it. You know, it's 80 some years old, so it's got some surface rust, but just minimal rust out like we looked at. But overall, the fins and stuff, none of them are really crushed or destroyed. The moldings are kind of banged up. I had to zip tie some of them back because they were flopping around and I didn't want to get them ripped off of there. There's actually one more bar to this grill that should be right below here that is notched for a crank hole cover. So this one does not have the last bar on it. Plus, Lee says looks good just the way it is as well. Plus, this is a regular cord also. The Berline actually had a little taller hood and another bar on a Berline. So yeah, like Iron is a very rare. Well, like I said, less than 3,000 of these cars were ever produced. 2,680, something like that, of these cars were produced. So, what do I pay for a car when I buy it for the yard? Every single one of them is different, old school. Obviously, there's certain things are worth way more than others, so it just varies. If it's just pure late model salvage, which I end up with a little bit, it kind of goes by, weight. But any of this old stuff, it's all different. So anyway, that's kind of what we had for tonight. I hope you guys dig it. I know, obviously I do. Obviously, I'm pretty wound up about it. It's just such an iconic piece to even just have the opportunity to buy one of those. Something that is that rare. We got some help here. And that iconic. Yeah, Robert said it wouldn't be a piece of cake, but he could sure make it look like new. But to be able to get a hold of something like that was that rare. There was never that many made. And it's literally one of the most beautiful cars ever designed. There were so many features to it that were new. It was front-wheel drive. It was independent front suspension. It sat lower. One of the very first cars that didn't have running boards, had hideaway headlights. There are so many different things about an 810 and an 812 cord that were so groundbreaking at the time and unheard of at the time, that to be able to add a piece like that to our collection, without, I don't actually have a cord. Maybe one of these days we'll actually stumble into it, or actually have the money and stumble into a situation where we can obtain a real cord. But in the meantime, having that to add to our automobilia collection, I'm pretty excited about and pretty happy with. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We got kind of a mixed bag on whether we should paint it or leave it the way it is. So I really don't know what to do there. But something to think about. But it's still a beautiful piece. Yeah, Robert says, oh, yeah, it's awesome. So I appreciate that. But it's a beautiful piece of, automotive history is what it is. Yeah, now we have to get the rest of the car. That's what I would like to. And that's what I said. It's not a toy, but Adam, when you get on here on a regular basis, Toy Tuesday can be anything memorabilia related. Toys, memorabilia, gas and oil, anything like that. We kind of just working under Toy Tuesday. So Toy Tuesday can be any sort of memorabilia, decorative type stuff. We just kind of lump it under Toy Tuesday. So we got some toys on here too sometimes, but we kind of lump it all together on Toy Tuesday. So the Guild of Automotive Restorers has a 37 cord for sale. I think you're in Canada, if I remember correctly, old school. That's a long ways up there, and I ain't got the money to swing one right now, but yeah, like Ironhead says, it's a big boy's toy. A real cord is a big boy's toy, so that's why I don't have one yet, but still excited to have something like this in our collection. When you look at, and that's why we're here. That's why we're on here every Sunday night. That's why we're back here to look at toys and memorabilia on Tuesday. It's because of the history and the memories and what it brings back. And you think back, you think about the automotive industry in the 30s, and you think about when the Cord came out with front-wheel drive and independent suspension and supercharged engine in 37, and all the amazing technology that went into those cars, plus a design that is literally timeless. The car's over 80 years old today, and they will still draw a crowd anywhere because they drew a crowd the day they came out, the day they hit the dealership. They'll still draw a crowd today. And that's and they always have. There's never been a time in history where they really didn't, because it was such an iconic design and such a great piece. So that's why I'm excited about it. That's why I was so excited to be able to actually get my hands on one for my collection. So There's an episode on YouTube's, with Jay Leno on a 35 Bugatti. I haven't seen that one. Bugattis are something I'm not real up on. That's a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but they're cool cars too. So, but right now, obviously, after our trip to the Auburn Cord Duesenberg factory in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, always have loved cords. My daughter has always loved cords. And then, we saw some cords there, plus got to learn a ton about Auburns, and there's still more to come. And remember, we've got, let's see, Mr. Good Pliers had some wood carved toys on today. That's Tim Stanger. I know him too, or know him well. He's a few hours south of me. He had some wooden toy cars on today. Apparently, I haven't caught that video either. But like I said, that's why we're here. It's because it's fun, it's cool, it's memorabilia, and that's what it's all about, and that's why we're here hanging out. So as always, I appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out with us. Be sure to check out the Auburn Cord Duesenberg factory. They've got a website, acdfactory.com. Let's see. Oh, the coupe. I've already got videos on that coupe, Ironhead. Yeah, Tim's a good guy too. So that coupe is a 39 Ford Deluxe. There are several videos of that car actually on YouTube. There's some video from when we pulled that car out of a lean-to about 4 years ago down in southeast Kansas, where it had been sitting for the last 30 or 40 years. And there is also a full walk around on it here in my shop. Those videos are a year and a half old, so you'll have to look back for that. Thanks for being on, James, and like I said, this isn't about me. This is about all of us hanging out. That's what Mick just made it on. That's what's fun about it. You guys being on here, you guys participating, and all your participation and your comments is what makes all this work. So, yeah, Ironhead, check them out. Yeah. Do I pay more if the car has a title? Sometimes, because that's just one less step that I have to go through with the state of Kansas to get a title. So that does weigh into it a little bit as well as to what the paperwork is like when I buy a car. So anyway, that's what I've got for tonight. I hope you guys liked it. Obviously, I really liked it, so I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. And can't wait to get it hung up, whether we decide to paint it or not. Still up in the air on that, but glad you guys enjoyed it. We'll check out some more cool stuff. And tomorrow night, what's coming up tomorrow night? Oh, tomorrow night, I think the Guild is awesome to watch. We'll have to check out I think that was the Jay Leno thing that we were talking about, Robert. Is that if I'm not mistaken? Tomorrow night, I think we will do, I've got the F-body video that I need to get up that Adam wants to see, but I think tomorrow night we're going to do an Edsel excavation. Dan said, see some of those cars in the $1 million tent in Auburn. They had guards to keep you away on those. Ironhead says, great piece. Thanks for sharing. Glad you liked it. Ron says, great content tonight. Glad you enjoyed it as well. So tomorrow night we'll do an Edsel excavation. Last week I went and pulled an old Edsel out of literally, and it was in kind of an old barn where it had been sitting for 40 plus years. It's just a parts car at this time. It's rough. It's been sitting there a long time, but it's been inside, so it's got a ton of good parts. But I've got a quick walk around of it, actually still sitting in there. Plus, when we drug it out with this really super cool big old Caterpillar. So we'll get that put together. I've got a couple of clips I need to stitch together on that. We'll probably do the Edsel excavation tomorrow night and get it up. So it was kind of cool too. Old School says a 35 Bugatti Aerolith body was made from magnesium. Wow, I bet that was a tricky build. Of course, back then they were experimenting with a lot of different things. So all kinds of stuff like that happened back in the day, which is a lot of how the Cord became what it was because of guys trying different things. So, but there again, that's the beauty of this stuff. Looking back today, with 2020 hindsight, of course, of how we ended up today from where we came. That's a grill Edsel. We did have some Edsel grills in the grill stack earlier. So, we'll probably do Edsel excavation tomorrow night, and we'll do a little bit more from the Auburn Cord Duesenberg factory on Friday night, and then of course Sunday night live chat. Be sure to be on with us 7 o'clock Central Standard Time Sunday. Robert likes it. Cool. Thanks. Appreciate your time. Back in those days, that's another thing, Old School. Back in those days, people had better imagination and they experimented. And that is 100% true, Old School. That's a great, great comment. So Dan says another great one. Thanks again. But that's 100% right. People had their imaginations ran wild. It was a very can-do attitude. Let's see if we can figure it out. And that's how we ended up with a lot of what we have today. So anyway, we'll get rolling. I'll jump off. I'm going to get back to work. I got to get a few more things done yet tonight on the computer. So thanks for watching, everybody. Appreciate you swinging by. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Tell your friends, have them swing by. And that's right. It's old school Ironhead. So appreciate everybody coming by. As always, if you got questions about specific vehicles or parts, you can give me a call. Old school says later. Thanks for swinging by. And glad all you guys made it tonight. And glad we had a great time again tonight. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow night with Edsel Excavation, and Friday night with some more Auburn Core Duesenberg factory stuff, and then Sunday night chat live at 7. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you soon.